Welcome everyone to a Tuesday Newsday with me, Bharos, and of course Sinzar carrying hard. Hey Sinzar.
What's going on?
Well, I actually have a decent mic, I guess. This time, I don't know if you even listened to the last episode, but it sounded like I was talking through a paper bag into a airline pilot's microphone.
I did listen, and it did sound a little strange, and I'm glad to hear it's fixed.
Yeah. Well, it was not much to fix. It was just I had really shitty portable headphones when I was traveling. Now I'm back at my physical setup, so people's ears. Okay, so let's get the fuck into this. So I am so torn about this banner, to be honest, because of many reasons. But we're getting the Chrono Cross collab. So first question, this was old in JP, I'm gonna assume. Like this is kind of like Mana or collab.
Not really, no. Actually, this was based on the JP schedule. This is literally the expected next banner, so it is directly on time.
Oh, so this is on time. Okay. So this is not the case, or it's not with the Legend of Mana. So question is, do they upgrade these units because the GL meta is much higher than the JP meta?
Oh God, no. In JP, these are some of the worst units since Coralie. They are absolutely trashed here in JP.
But I do see some global upgrades here, so that's going to be interesting to see. All right, so first, before we get into this, what do you think about Chrono Cross? You just told me before the episode started that you replayed it.
Yes, I played the remake, and it's fun. It's a really good game. I really enjoy it. It's definitely like your old school kind of RPG with lots of random battles. Except not actually they're not random in Chrono Cross.
No,
you can see them when they attack you.
Yeah,
but it's heavy on combat. But it's got a good storyline. It's a fun game. I recommend you play it if you enjoy classic Square Enix RPGs.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
It's kind of a mix of the actual old Chrono Trigger and because it has a bit of like, I'm not gonna say it has the same, like it has a similar mechanics. It doesn't have a time travel mechanic, but it does have a mechanic where the world kind of changes and not time travel as like that, like we'd see in Chrono Trigger. But it's also a mix of like Suikoden, because like doesn't this game have 20-30 playable characters or some shit?
Well, more than that. It's got like a ton. I don't think it's like time travel in Chrono Cross.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't
Trigger,
travel,
right? Because in Trigger you have this mechanic where not only is the world different, but like your actions in the past influence the world in the future. When you're traveling back and forth, that creates some pretty interesting dynamics. But not in Cross, right?
Yeah, and in Chrono Cross, like the events of Chrono Trigger is what caused Chrono Cross to happen, and the world are split into two different alternate timelines, but you don't travel forward and backward in the timeline. You travel between the two different timelines at the same time period.
Right. And they don't affect each other either. Like they don't.
Correct.
You can't change one thing in the one and have changed something in the other. So it's a bit different, but it's still a really good game. It's still a really good game. It has a ton of characters, so people will definitely be able to find their favorites. And it's really good. I want to warmly recommend. I was just telling you before the episode started that seeing the banner makes me feel like I should replay this again, because it actually has been a while since. I just have to check where can you actually find this game so I can play it comfortably instead of suffering on an old device. But you played it on Steam, right?
Yes, I played it on Steam, and it it's fine there.
Did they add like cool stuff like they did Final Fantasy 8, where you stuff like skip combat or shit when you get a ton of encounters?
Yes. They basically added a built-in Game Shark or whatever. You can turn off encounters. You can turn on God mode, where you have infinite health, infinite what's it called in the game, like energy or infinite whatever. Yeah, they have cheats. Obviously you should not use them if you want the proper experience. But if you just want to go through and see the story and don't really care about the old school, RPG mechanics, you could just turn on God mode, turn off encounters, and basically play story mode through the game, which is still worth doing if you want to see the story.
Sure. I think that's more for like people that have played the game before, right, and don't want to go through some of the combat again, and basically they can just blaze through instead. Although to be fair, like a part of the RPG is actually grind some levels, unlock abilities, and Chrono Cross does have a quite like an interesting way to build characters, I guess. So it's worth. It's a good game. I mean, it's definitely a good game, and it like kind of connects Trigger story. Like not super connected, but like there are some things.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil too much because like the thing is it's all about the ending and I don't want to talk about the ending because then I'm just gonna spoil it for people that haven't played.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So nice. So we have Serge, it's Serge, right? Like Serge?
I always call him Surge.
Yeah, I know you'd have assumed as much, but I'm kind of like, like, what have other people called him? Sag? Yeah, Sag. Okay, so we have Surge, we have Lynx, and Kid, who are three very iconic characters in the story. Let's not spoil. Okay, so I also see that we have a GLEX card. Should we talk about that first?
Sure.
So
Sure.
it's a GLEX Chrono Cross card, hard-hitting Sage. So it's a Dazzling Demoness-esque card that has 500 magic and 100% TDH, but it also has something very, very interesting on it, right? Like, I've seen some wild speculation. So it has an ability, right? A 10-turn cooldown ability that adds light element all allies. No, sorry, for casters, boosts light damage, so an amp, and activates Secret Sage Arts 2 next turn. This sounds suspiciously like the single target 100% amps.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a very very likely to be.
Although it does say for caster, meaning you're not going to be putting this on somebody, that you would give the amp to. Or, sorry, you need to put it on the person you want the amp on.
Yeah, it's self only.
But what does that mean, though? So this is a mage card. So you're not going to put this on your Chizuru. You're not going to be putting this on your Esther, right?
So you have two options here. You can either give it to Olive or Sukiko.
Bro, we kind of missed Regina.
True, I guess. That's true. Yeah, you can make her a light element unit. Totally.
Although she does hit a fair bit less when she's using her imbuable ability. Okay, so this is interesting, right? Like this is kind of a would you say this is a must-have?
Not really, because I feel so here's what I feel like. It's hard to say because like if they give us a global exclusive light buffer in order to sell a light meta, we're going to have a global exclusive light buffer who is going to do this anyway. That said, they haven't done it since Sylvie. So, like 2 months ago, I would have said no way because the next global exclusive is going to give 100% light amp. That said, we're like 2-3 months down the road, or however long Sylvie is, 5 months, and still no one is buffing the party like Sylvie does. And Chizuru is, I think, the only clash unit that self buffs by 100 because Olive and now Lilith are less than 100.
Right.
So that makes it harder to say yes or no. It could be really good.
But what if this is them kind of realizing what I've been saying all along, that Sylvie's a fucking mistake and that they're slowly moving towards more of the JP meta where, it's more about having one unit. Because I agree with like this card, and Celagus is saying it in the chat as well, this card is rendered absolutely useless if they release a 100% AoE amp support for the next clash, right?
Correct. Yes, it would be not good. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not good, but it wouldn't be nearly as big of a deal.
Oh, interesting you said nearly, because nearly makes me think of Nier, and I've heard that people suspect there's gonna be Nier for the next cow, which would be weird. I've never seen a collab.
It's like almost confirmed based on the monthly bulletin. It's like basically confirmed at this point.
But then I'm gonna say nobody is light in the Nier. Like I don't see anybody doing light damage, like lightning. I can see lightning. I cannot see light.
That's true. Then again, Sukiko was always water. How'd that turn out?
I guess. And I mean, Freyevia did the same thing with getting light and all of a sudden and so on. Yeah. Okay, but it's interesting. Like I am so split on this card. Like I'm feeling like, okay, maybe I should go for it because that 100% light amp is very nice. We've seen it for this cow. It's been very useful to do a light team as well, especially for people that have Tsuki. But like, speaking of light, who do we have that can do a light Imperil field except Tsuki? Nobody, right?
Well, Nyx technically, but you're not bringing Nyx.
Well, maybe like in a Regina team, but even then, like, be hard finding a slot for it with everything else going on. Okay, so yeah, I'm just having a hard time figuring this one out. Like, is this Is this kind of, would this help like what's her face? Yuna?
No. Well, not. I'd have to do the math because she would lose all the spirit from a spirit card, which is base spirit, so it's multiplied by buffs and percent passive. So you're losing
Yeah, you're losing a lot.
120 times 9. So you're losing almost 1,000 spirit. Now, would a 100% amplify make up for the fact that you're losing 1,000 spirit? Possibly. I'd have to map it
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I mean, she does have a pretty decent amp already. So it's kind of, yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what unit were they planning this for? Because, like, I mean, sure, Olive, like you can,
I
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I feel like it's for. I feel like it's for Olive or Sukiko, in my opinion.
Yeah, Tsuki. I mean, Tsuki definitely
Well,
becomes
well,
stronger as a light unit, right? Or
okay.
she gets strong.
Let me rephrase. The unit it's probably trying to sell is Surge because on
Oh,
JP he had no amplify whatsoever. Now, once we get to the units, you'll see he was given one for global, but it might potentially be a lower percent than the card. So, like, if you want the good, you got to pull the card, something like that. Maybe, I don't know.
oh, right. And the requirement for an FFB unit is only for the third ability on the card, meaning that any unit gets the light amp. Okay, interesting. Although it is magic, is Surge? Oh my God, Surge is magic. Okay.
Yes. Yep, they all are. All three of them.
Why? Okay. I feel like Surge wasn't a magic in.
Absolutely not. In the game, Surge was the premier number one best physical damage dealer of the game. Well, I guess maybe other than late game Glenn, but still, like, why is he all of a sudden a mage in Brave Exvius? I don't get it.
Yeah, this is so weird. Like, I mean, I get that he has, he does have magic spells. He does. I mean, anyone technically has, I guess, in the game. Okay, but that's interesting. Okay, so that's interesting. It could be for him. Could be for him. I'm just trying to figure out, is this card worth going for? Because this amp is juicy. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the banner then. This is a nice segue into it. So, Surge is a mage. He is a mage buffer, and he's an SLB unit. Is he one of those I do all my damage on my SLB type unit?
Yep. His kit is he has a weak field. Other than that, his kit is worthless. It is just worthless. Like, you do the SLB and nothing else.
And what is his field?
30% light amp.
Oh,
Which is not
but
worthless.
I mean, that's like
but
light Fina. That's like return
yes,
Fina levels.
yeah, it's just not. Yeah, it was exactly return Fina. Yeah, like, it's for me. I am the people complain about this a lot, but I am the person where if you're not the best, you're the worst. And we now have a 50% light field. So if you're not a 50%, you're not the best. You're not good anymore.
Yeah.
And his is only 30. If you want a good light amp field, you bring Dagger.
And how much does she have?
50.
Wait, Dagger has 50. Oh, okay.
Yes.
For light.
Light and lightning. Yes.
Oh, I completely missed that. So Dagger might be actually an interesting to next cow. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, but he has an STMR, Master Immune. It has fat attack and magic, and is a two-handed weapon, so that's pretty nice. It's a spear. Spear? Really? Like, what is it with Square putting spear on weapons that are not supposed to be spears, and fists on weapons that are supposed to be?
Yeah, it's a very strange choice for that.
I mean, I would call it it's a double-edged sword, right? It's Darth Maul style twin blade, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So this is as much a spear as like what's his fucking face? Zidane's weapon would be, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like it would either be like a double-handed dagger or a sword. Like, spear is a strange choice.
Yeah. Oh, whatever. I guess it matters in, like, who can weapon imperil and so on. And I guess maybe he. Okay.
He does now. He did not in JP.
Right, because his global upgrade seems to be, well, we don't know what his global upgrade is, but he does have a reduced resistance to spears and light resistance global upgrade, I guess, right? Or is that no? That's the global upgrade for the super.
Mm-hmm. He also got a brand new ability. The amplify. Like I said, in JP he had no amplify whatsoever, but now he does.
But here he seems to have something, right? Like it's an amp and it fills his LB. Okay, interesting. Well, SLB units are difficult to sell. I feel like they're a very difficult sell. The only reason why Olive works is because she's a bit different, and still works on her off turns. I don't know about this. All right, so let's move on. We have Lynx. So I'm guessing Lynx is going to be a dark Surge. Is that fair?
Yep. Literally identical, just like Noctis and Arden were back in the day. It is the same unit.
I mean,
everything's the same except that he's dark.
Yeah. Well, that's okay from a game standpoint. Like I can see that in the story.
It definitely makes sense. Like as far as a lore standpoint, as far as being faithful to the game, you have to do it that way.
Yeah.
That being said, it doesn't translate well to a gacha game, and it feels extremely lazy and just boring.
Especially on a banner where you have 3 NVs, right? And
yes, but it does make sense from a game standpoint.
Yeah, it does. Like lore-wise, this makes sense. He has a pretty sweet hat, actually. His STMR, Lynx's STMR, is a 80 magic, 50 LB damage hat. That's nice.
Yes, that STMR is, in my opinion, is the most valuable thing of the entire collaboration, is that hat. That is pretty unique. You don't really get LB damage in the mage slot. Your best mage hat is like Thena's Flower, which is an 80 magic hat, and it doesn't really do anything. It does Aqua Killer, but who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're fighting Nakwa. But this is just now the best mage hat in the game. Yeah. Period.
It's really good. It's really good. So this isn't like you can be happy if you accidentally pull one of these on the weekly pulls, which we'll be getting. Okay, and then we finally have Kid, and Kid is a debuffer and a buffer. All right, so is she? So that's interesting. A debuffer and a buffer. What does she do?
So she is a magical Vaughn. She's got the 160 fire in peril and an 89 spirit break in JP. She does no damage whatsoever in JP. She is getting upgraded in global, so we'll have to see. But
yeah, she's getting an upgrade to her SLB, to her STMR, and to the radical passive. Yeah, she's getting a bit more stats. Are they turning her into a damage dealer?
We don't see it amplify for her, so.
And she didn't have one on JP?
I think she might have had like a really weak one that didn't matter, but or none. I don't remember specifically. But like in JP, so we make fun of like Dark Cecil's damage on global. Kid does like 1/3 of Dark Cecil's damage in JP. So she doesn't deal damage.
I mean, she would need extreme buffs, and she also, like, her card is 100 magic card as well, which doesn't set the tone that she would be a damage dealer. I mean, she doesn't even have the damage dealer tag. She's just a debuffer and a buffer, which makes it so weird. They are buffing her SLB unless it's like buffing the
breaks. That's what she needs.
Yeah.
The breaks. Now, if she becomes a 90 breaker with a 160 in peril, and she does have a fire field in her kit, that would be an amazing unit because she can be like probably the best breaker at this point if she got all that. I would love to get her if they upgrade her to 90 breaks. Now, if they don't upgrade it to 90 breaks, she can stay wherever she is, and I don't want her anymore.
Wow, okay. Shame. But I hear what you're saying. I mean, 90 breaks would be juicy. That would actually turn her into the desired use this banner, which is quite a shift. Interesting. I mean, 160. And what's her field? Is it an amp field or an imperil field?
30 amp. Fire.
30 amp. So yeah, I mean, like getting that all in a single unit, that would be nice, especially for obviously. All right, and I mean, and of course these units are on the step up, which the GLEX card is on. So it's kind of up to everyone if they want to go chase that. We are getting the 10K Vision World Lapis, and we are getting the 3K from Event Battle at least, and I guess a bit various Lapis rewards. So it's kind of an easier card to chase. So the conspiracy theorist in me says, like, hey, are they trying to just drain all the free lapis you're getting? Kind of, because better stuff is coming.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I don't know. Like, obviously the card, I'd like the card. I can definitely see some units for it. I do have Olive. I do have Tsukikos, and they would both love that for going light element. Will I pull on, in my opinion, a low-value banner, depending on the buffs? Probably not. And I might regret it, but we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know. This is difficult, and it's like what, 28K, something like that.
I forgot the exact step up. Oh, here it is. So we got 16, 21, 20. Yep, 28K.
All right. Well, good luck to everyone chasing it. I mean, it's guaranteed. So let's see if it's actually becomes useful. I don't know. It all depends on the stats too. Like what if the self amp is like,
if it's 80, it's still good. But
yeah.
if it's less than 100, then it becomes not as a big draw.
But it is one of those 3-turn, right? Like it is one of those where you get like one amp on one, another on base strong. So it's very likely this is our 100% light. Although I feel like if anyone was getting that would be like a crown basically.
They probably won't give a global exclusive crown to her because she's definitely going to get crowns in JP at some point, and it would kind of mess up that.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm thinking. Like whenever she gets the crowns, she's probably the 100% amp single.
Oh, from JP, yeah. What I was thinking is we need an intrinsic for Ling to do 100 amp.
Yeah. I mean, Ling could, or an intrinsic for her could just increase the amps she has to levels maybe. I don't know what Ling would actually need, because like she still has the killers in a way. She's still and she has the big LB support. You know what I would say? You know what Ling needs? Ling needs more morale in this meta, because she was a good morale filling unit, but now it actually falls the fuck short.
Would be nice.
All right. Okay, cool. So we've talked about the units. We are getting an MK event with this as well. Another MK event, I should say. We've been getting a fair bit of those. And this seems to be one of those collabs where we're getting the daily shard fight. So we're RNGing shards.
Correct. Yes. You might end up with an extra 140 surge or 20, etc.
Yeah.
But you'll get 10 a day for the duration of the event to a random one.
Nice. And we're getting 10+1 pulls weekly. So this week we are then expecting 2 10+1, one for the guaranteed NV and then one for.
Oh yeah, it's true. Mm-hmm. And hopefully I get myself a Lynx from that because I really want that hat.
It's a really good hat. But I'm really hoping for a Hana myself. Like I really regret not. Let's see. Do you feel it's about time that we start getting an equivalent of the UOC for NVs?
I definitely think that at the very least for older ones, they most certainly should. JP does them occasionally. It's not a permanent thing, but every now and then, for special events, mostly anniversaries or half anniversaries, they'll give you like one pick of an older Neo unit. Global does too sometimes. Actually, yeah, Global just did that. So we get it sometimes, but I do think a permanent system especially for the older ones would be useful.
Yeah, kind of like I mean, I know UOCs were added to the pool 2 weeks after the banner, which might have been a bit much, right? But having something where kind of like the card shop, right? Like where we can buy the perma VCs. Maybe something like that, right? Like where, okay, you can get like a unit that's 3 months old, like that. You can get that, and that's nice to fill out holes in your roster. Like I would love it in some way. If they can think of a way to do that, that'd be good.
Well, they already have the way you can do it. So the global, they give out the 1/10 NV summons. You can just make it to where you can spend 10 of those for a random NV that can get current day units, or you can spend make up a number 30 of them to exchange a guaranteed unit from at least 6 months or older, something like that.
That would be really good, actually. I would love that. And that would also make it like a really difficult choice. Do you kind of roll the dice to get to possibly get a really powerful unit, or do you go for filling a gap in your roster? Interesting. I'd love to see that. All right, but yeah, it's a normal MK, MK, and you're getting and we're also getting this black clad demi-human. Which is, I guess, the 3K Lapis and Master Crown fight.
Oh yeah, it's just the EX fight. You go in there, you use Chizuru's LB, you win.
Yeah, Chizuru is she is a special type of. She really has kind of changed the game a bit.
I was gonna say she's the best turn 1 burster, but I have to actually adjust that. Now it's Golbez.
Yeah, fucking Buzz with his fucking meteor. I mean, I get it. It's fun. I used him for at least his own fight to kill Shadow Dragon and him. But yeah. Well, I guess some people can maybe then bring fucking Golbez, and maybe they're gonna put this fucking light card on fucking Golbez and be a light burster.
Unfortunately, it has no MP. Otherwise, that'd be great for Golbez.
It does have no MP. Yeah, you definitely want Demoness. I guess that's what really makes him OP on GL.
Oh yeah, that's the only reason he's OP, because he's the same as he is as JP, except JP has no MP cards, so he's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I would pull so fucking hard for this card if it was a not for caster, but for any ally. Like if you could just give an amp to any ally, then holy shit, I would be card so fast.
Well, if that was the case, then you'd have to pull it. We'd all have to pull it, but yeah. It's not. It's self-only.
Yeah, there's another fight as well, the Young Acacia Dragoon, right? Where we're getting some shitty items, I guess.
Yeah, that's an exploration, and it's kind of like a puzzle exploration, similar to the Final Fantasy X one we had. This one's a little more complicated. I kind of like spent 5 minutes going over it in my my own news video. I'll just say, basically, look up a guide on the wiki if you're stuck in the dungeon,
or play the original game, right?
Exactly. It is very faithful to the original game. That whole series of the Viper Mansion.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing, and you do the events in Brave Exvius the same way you did them in Viper Mansion. You got to go through the rooms the same, etc.
And Viper Mansion is like one of the first dungeons. Well, technically the first big one in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite early in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. And then, do we have anything else? We've already talked about the 10 plus. So, let's talk about a fun topic. So we've gotten a brief for the next cow, right?
And Dark Visions, yes.
And Dark Visions, yes. So first of all, Dark Visions, what have we been told here? I have such a hard time with this information, but it seems like the final stage is going to be a Fire, Water, Light Week boss. So,
yes, for the first time in like 2 years, Global is not removing the elemental lock on the final boss of Dark Vision.
But we don't know what the unweak elements are, though. If they are super high or if they are just might be doable anyway.
I mean, if you're gonna copy JP, you're gonna copy JP. Otherwise, they would have made it the way the Global usually does. I feel like this is okay. So there's two things here, two potentials. They either decided to keep this the same because it's less work,
right?
And that's probably the way they did it. But there's also an argument to be made that they want to. The entire reason JP locks everything to an element is because that increases sales. It's good business, even though players don't like it. It's good business, though. So they may have seen that Sylvie has literally been on every single banner or every single Dark Visions team since she came out, and people aren't caring.
It doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to figure out, but yeah.
Exactly. And people that pulled for Jekt and Titus, these premium Dark Visions meta units, they're just not getting used because they don't match up Sylvie's elements. Well, now we have a boss that you have to use water or firelight, and you can't use earth and lightning. All of a sudden, people that pulled for Jekt and Titus are jumping for joy because they've got the meta options. You see what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. And you know what? Like, to play the devil's advocate a little bit here, I don't mind this that much because it does get you to use these other units. Now, of course, it really sucks when you get locked out, right? So, oh, no, I can't use my Sylvies anymore. That does suck. But the fact that I actually will get to bring Titus to an actual DV fight for Cap makes me happy. Because I haven't really gotten to use my Titus. In fact, I have never used his full potential burst yet. So I'm happy about this, and there's the fire. So like all the Vaughn people might be happy, might be bringing him. And of course, light for Tsuki. I guess this is like you're bringing Tsuki and you're putting that card on. That makes a lot of sense.
It is finally Knights of Grand Sheld's time to shine.
Is it though? Like, isn't their damage a bit low nowadays?
It is. They just got crowned in JP, so they're coming back.
Okay,
but
nice.
yes.
Well, I might bring my Knights of Grand Shield as well. Actually, that would be like a fun, units I haven't used ever basically run where I can put Titus, I can put Knights. There's also a physical domain of Earth and Darkness. That's one of the weaker fights. And then a magical domain of Fire and Ice. I like seeing that Ice there because that means I will get to fucking destroy it with Regina. So that's good.
There it is.
But I will probably not be bringing Regina, unfortunately, to the final fight because that does not take Ice, unfortunately.
Correct.
All right, so what are we getting about Clash of Wills? So again, as we kind of touched on, people are suspecting it's Nier, right?
It has to be because okay, so we know the next live stream with Hiroki is going to be on November 20th, and Hiroki is not getting out of bed for like Final Fantasy 3 or whatever other random JP banner we're getting that week.
He's getting out of bed for the serious fucking money.
Exactly. So it's going to be the Nier stream.
Yeah.
So this Dark Visions, we're just having Clash of Wills. So Clash of Wills is another week. So the first week of November is Clash of Wills. So that means it has to be the second and third week of November is Dark Visions. Get that out of the way because no one cares.
Yeah.
Then November 20th, the fourth week starts. We only have a week and a half remaining of November. That's going to be the Clash week. And here is our Nier stream, our Nier units, and our Nier Clash of Wills. So there's your soft confirmation that the Nier units are going to be Clash of Wills.
But that's very interesting because that's going to be the first collab ever that has morale, like any type of clash. I mean, we don't know if they're going to have morale damage. Actually, that's obviously, we don't even know if it's going to be Nier. But it would be interesting if they do have morale skin.
Yes.
Because that would be first of all, it's gonna be making large holes in everyone's wallets. And I mean, like, for sure, like, there are so many Nier fans, it's scary. So people, like, every time Nier has had a banner in FFB, it's been fucking crazy, right? Like, people have been going so fucking hard on those banners.
Mm-hmm. And collaborations, like as Resonant says in chat, collaboration, like the Lara Croft. Remember her?
Shit, I forgot that. Oh, that's true.
She was a collaboration morale unit, and she was on everyone's team for 7 months. So
That is true. So maybe it's a repeat, right? Like we're getting fucking 2B Breaker that has 90 breaks for 91 breaks for both defense and spirit. All right. And she's gonna have 100%. No, wait, but she can't do lightning because Sylvia already does lightning. So she's gonna have something. She's gonna have something, all right. And then A2, she's always been kind of just the damage dealer, and she's just gonna be is what I'm assuming. Do you see like maybe some options here for maybe some tag chaining units? Like tag chaining with the pod or some shit.
I didn't play Nier, so I'm not familiar with the units, but I have seen animations where they're like fist bump their little pet robot. So if they're going to have tag chains, it would make sense, I guess, because they have the little robot.
Yeah, what I'm going towards is, A2 is going to be Chizuru 2.0, and 2B is going to be just fucking, is what I think. She's going to have the 91% breaks. She's going to have like serious fucking amps. Maybe she's going to have like a 140 single target lightning amp. What if he has that?
Maybe. But okay, so again, this is me not having played Nier, knowing nothing about Nier, but I do know that anytime Nier is ever brought up, people automatically say it's going to be 2B and A2. Does Nier just like not have any other characters?
Yeah, there are literally no other units in the game. I'm sorry, like there's no other units.
Nier. Oh, seriously? Okay, I didn't know that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But it's the two waifus. All right, like there are two waifus in the game. It's fucking 2B and A2. Yes, there's the 9S. I mean, we obviously have a history with Eve in GL because everybody fucking hates Eve. So, like, yes, there are other units. We could go like, we could get some of the other units from the story as well. But it's hard imagining that they would be paying premium money for a Nier collab and not milking that by using the most popular, right? Like, that would just not make sense.
I get it. So it's kind of like, those are like the main characters and all the rest are like just side characters.
So kind of 9S is also a playable main character in the game, but he's a little bitch, so nobody likes him. So it's like it's 2B and A2. They are like, I mean, I don't know. It would not fucking make sense if, like, what could make sense is a triple NV banner. We could get like 2B, A2, and 9S. I can see that. But if it's just two units, then it has to be A2 and 2B. Otherwise, they're just idiots.
How about like the final boss of the game? Is that like a big character, or is someone kind of like the final boss of like 9, where you don't even know the main characters?
So I don't want to spoil the game, but like it very much depends on what path you're taking as well, and so on. So
so it's a spoiler. All right, don't spoil it then.
Yeah, no. But no, like to answer that honestly, no, there's not really like this type of iconic. There's no Kuja. Like if
I
I put it
gotcha.
that way, right?
Okay.
So it's definitely like, and again, you would not be paying premium money to get this collab into your fucking game and not use A2 and 2B. I just don't see that happening at all. Like 9S is not nearly as popular.
I gotcha. Okay.
All right, shit. Now we talk about Nier. We were not supposed to, but hey, it's fun theory crafting. I guess in 3 weeks we're gonna be talking about it seriously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's it for this week, right?
Pretty much. Yeah. That's it. That's it. I believe.
All right, cool. Well then, thanks for chilling, Sinzar.
It was fun.
And thanks everyone that joined on the Discord, and also talking a bit about how 9S is a little bitch in chat. I like that. I like that. Let's talk more about 9S and him being a little bitch. But I mean, okay, seriously, if you actually play the game, he is actually a little bitch. Like he breaks the fuck. Like I'm not gonna spoil it, but like fuck that guy. I fucking hate 9S. All right, he ruins the entire game.
Oh no.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. Although Nier Automata, amazing game. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great weekend. Wait, no, not weekend. We're in like the start of the week. Have a great week, everyone.
Later.